Good afternoon. It's great to be back here in Panama City. I want to thank all the great elected officials who are here joining us. We have our Chief Financial Officer, Jimmy Petronis, proud Bay County native, Senator George Gaynor, who's really just worked so hard to help rebuild the communities here in Northwest Florida. Representative Jay Trumbull, very effective representative, is going to be moving on up in the world in the next legislative session, going to have even more ability to direct resources to this part of the state, which I know he'll do a good job of. Representative Brad Drake, who's really been a strong supporter of our rural communities here in Northwest Florida. And the mayor of Panama City, Greg Brudnicki, thank you for your leadership and really appreciate. When I started as governor January 2019, Hurricane Michael had obviously happened several months before that, but it almost seemed like it had fallen off the radar of most people's consciousness, certainly not here in this region, but beyond Northwest Florida. These storms come and then they go, but the damage they leave behind takes time to rebuild. And when you have a Category 5 storm like we had with Hurricane Michael, that takes years and years of support. And so today we have another announcement showing our support, but I think that it's just important for folks here to understand and be comforted to know that the state of Florida views this rebuilding process as a multi-year process. And I know we did a lot when we first came into office, and we continued to be as helpful as we can over the year and a half I've been governor, but it's not something that's just going to end. These are communities that we've got to remain committed to, and today's effort, I think, demonstrates that. But I think you'll see as we go into the next legislative session, there's going to be more that needs to be done for Hurricane Michael, and so I'm very supportive of those efforts. Today is a great announcement because on September 1st, the Florida Housing Finance Corporation will be relaunching for the second year in a row the Hurricane Michael Recovery Loan Program. This program will provide people who make up to 140% of the area median income with up to $15,000 in zero-interest loans to use for down payment and closing costs assistance to purchase a home in any of the following counties affected by Hurricane Michael: Bay, Calhoun, Franklin, Gadsden, Gulf, Holmes, Jackson, Liberty, Taylor, Wakulla, and Washington. The loans are forgivable by 20% every year for 5 years. That means you do not owe anything on the loan if you live there for 5 years. And there's a lot of great places, all those counties. I would say if you're looking to lay down roots anywhere, Bay County is a great place to be. I think that they value faith, family, they value their kids' futures. You look around the country and you see some of these communities just totally self-destructing. No rule of law, a lot of problems. You're not going to have that here in Bay County. They respect the rule of law. They support law enforcement because they understand that's integral to a successful community. On the 20%, the exception to that is active duty service members. If you're active duty and reassigned to a different location, the loan will be completely forgiven regardless of how long you've lived in the house. So last year, the legislature funded the program with $5 million, which was able to help 335 families. This year, because of the leadership of Senator Gaynor, Representatives Trumbull and Drake, the legislature funded the program at $10 million. That will be able to help 660 families purchase a home, and that's a very good thing. So it helps to hear, to understand how this affects individuals. We received story of Kristen Cummings. So she's a mother of 3 children here in Bay County and has been teaching first graders with unique abilities for 13 years. After Hurricane Michael destroyed her home, she was not left with many options. She and her family moved into an RV parked in their driveway, which was, sadly, a common story for victims of this storm. Ultimately, she applied for and received the recovery loan program, received $15,000 for down payment assistance on a new home, and she's now in that home. And so it shows that when you have legislative leaders like this, doing these targeted programs If we're able to get it to the right folks, it really does make a difference. And so we appreciate Kristen being able to benefit from that, and we do want to see other families in Bay County and beyond benefit from this program. I do want to say we're going to have some other speakers come up and say a few words about the program. We have Trey Price, who's the chairman of the Florida Housing Finance Corporation, and then we have Nicole Chesbrough, who's the loan officer from Trustmark National Bank. They can kind of fill in some of the details on this and talk about how important it is. Just a quick update on COVID-19. We have trends in Florida that have been trending in the right direction for many weeks now. Last week we had the lowest percentage of tests that tested positive since the week of June 7th. It was also the 6th straight week where we had a decline in the positivity rate. Patients with coronavirus who've been hospitalized have declined by nearly 40% since peaking statewide on July 22nd. Patients who are COVID positive in the ICU has declined by nearly 30% since peaking on July 18th. And here in Bay County, we've seen downward trends, both in terms of hospitalizations and ICU hospitalizations. Statewide, the number of individuals who are showing up at EDs, the emergency departments, for COVID-like illnesses has been declining for weeks and weeks, and in fact is down as much as 75% from the peak, which was about July 7th. And so you talk about different indicators, how many tests you do, and what's the criteria. There's a lot of different ways you can do indicators that you really have to look under the hood of, but whether people are showing up at the ED or not, that's just a fact. And if people are showing up in higher numbers, there's more prevalence. When they're showing up in much lower numbers, that's a sign that the prevalence is abated. So we're going to continue to work hard, one goal, one Florida, to be able to continue to see these good trends. But I think that they're durable. I think that they've been lasting now for many weeks. And I look forward to being able to see folks here in Bay County not only have had to respond to the coronavirus, but obviously, as we know, the Hurricane Michael. So the resiliency of this area has been inspiring, and we'll continue to be here to be supportive in any way we can. And with that, we'll turn it over to Florida Housing Finance Corp.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Trey Price. I'm the Executive Director of Florida Housing Finance Corporation. We're the state's housing finance agency that provides housing options for renters and homebuyers. When Hurricane Michael made landfall in 2018 as a Category 5 storm, it barreled into Florida's Panhandle, devastating and displacing thousands of residents and families. Seeing the damage and high demand for housing, we at Florida Housing Finance immediately began implementing both short-term and long-term housing solutions for impacted Floridians, for both renters and homeowners. Last year, after talking with impacted residents, including our local board member, Ray Dubuque, who's here with us today, as well as local realtor, Katie Petronas, who is here with us as well, Florida Housing committed $5 million in down payment and closing cost assistance for homebuyers in counties impacted by the storm. In less than 4 months, those funds were reserved by homeowners and homebuyers and generated over $56 million in home loans. The legislature, led by Senator Gaynor, Representative Trumbull, and Representative Drake, recognized the success of this program and advocated for another $10 million to continue the recovery efforts. And we were thrilled when Governor DeSantis agreed when signing the budget into law earlier this year. This program will be launched on September 1st, and Florida Housing will be offering up to $15,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance for qualified homebuyers, whether they're looking for a new home or looking to move into the area and help with the rebuilding effort. For more information, we urge people to please go to our website at www.floridahousing.org or contact a local financial institution about participating in the program. Thank you so much, and now I'm going to introduce one of our loan officers, and that's Ms. Chesbrough, who can talk a little bit more about the successes she saw in the program last summer. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Nicole Chesbrough, and I work at Trustmark National Bank. And I want to thank, first of all, the legislature of bringing the program back. It was such a blessing last year being able to assist so many homeowners with monies that they just had no idea how to come up with. And then on top of that, that it's forgiven at a rate of 20% per year or 5 years, no repayment is just amazing. I've told my helpers, because I can't do this by myself, to buckle up. It's going to get crazy. We're excited and we're extremely thankful. Just helping people here in our local area. There's so many people that are still living with family members because they can't afford the rent, or they just don't have the funds for the down payment. So we're extremely grateful, and thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. There you go. Well, thank you so much. And I think this really is important. And I would just say it's, as people look around and what's going on in Florida, I mean, there really are a lot of opportunities, I think, in Bay County. It's a great community. If you're looking for a good place to live and raise a family, this is really a good place to be. I know that they've been able to keep more people here as a result of this program than they otherwise would have. You know, I'd like to get everybody back who may have left up to this point, and then also you likely have a good chance to draw some more people in who are looking for greener pastures. So I look forward to continuing to come here and help. It's a multi-year effort. It's not just going to happen overnight, but the resiliency has been impressive. And you know, when people are standing up, willing to help themselves, willing to help their neighbors, then obviously we need to be there helping them as well. And so that's what we're doing. Take a couple questions before I get out of Dodge. Anybody?
Olivia Michael, News Channel 7, and Local 18 News. For folks who want to apply for this loan, how do they go about that?
What's the, you want to go through the?
Yeah, sure. You want to go ahead?
You need to go to the Florida Housing website, and they are listed. There's a list of participating lenders. Not every lender will participate in the program. So if you check there by county, you can narrow us, and you can find us with telephone number and email addresses, and we would love to help. There's nothing special that the homeowner has to do. All the legwork is on our end.
Anna Hoffman, News 13 WFTV here in Panama City. Similar question, is there certain eligibilities that these people need to be able to qualify for these loans?
Yep. Sure, I could take that. So 140% of area median income is probably the largest, you know, overall hurdle. The next is that, or less, and then there's also going to be the home needs to be owner occupied. This is not for, you know, a second investor home or whatnot. This needs to be a homestead property. And then I'm going to actually see if with our homeownership director, David Westcott, is there anything else that are David, if you could chime in, are there any other big?
They just need to credit qualify for the actual loan product, and loan officers like Nicole can help put them into an FHA or Fannie, Freddie, whatever the proper loan product might be for their circumstances.
Great, thank you, David.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thanks everybody. Take care.
Thank you, Governor.
Governor, thank you so much.